A hungry son was about to eat the yogurt his father had left unfinished when his dad suddenly snatched it away. The father sternly warned him never to eat anything he had already touched. What seemed like harshness was actually protection. The father had recently been diagnosed with a terminal illness. John was an ordinary window washer raising his son alone. Their family was so poor that his wife had left them both after giving birth to their son. Knowing he wouldn't be around much longer to care for Mike, John decided he needed to find someone else to adopt him. The first couple he visited lived quite comfortably in a luxurious estate. They promised John they would provide his son with the very best life had to offer. But during their conversation, John discovered they already had children of their own. He worried that Mike might face favoritism or be treated differently, so he told them he needed time to think it over. On the way home, John asked his son if he'd like to live with that family. The young boy didn't give it much thought.
I like home.
His innocent response filled John's heart with anguish. He didn't want to be separated from his son either, but his disease-ravaged body wouldn't allow him to be there for Michael much longer. The next day, they visited a middle-class couple. The well-dressed pair seemed genuinely kind, and a toy rabbit on their table caught Mike's attention. The man handed it to him to play with. They explained they'd never had children when they were younger and wanted to experience parenthood in their middle age. They'd even prepared a child's room in advance, ready to welcome their new family member. So far, John felt satisfied with this couple, but as he and his son were leaving, the woman shot her husband a look, signaling him to take back the rabbit toy. John's heart sank. If they couldn't even part with a simple toy, he couldn't imagine what kind of life his son would have with them. Finally, they visited a woman who lived alone. She welcomed them warmly and was attentive to Mike's feelings throughout their visit. She explained that she'd been pregnant when she was young, but she and her husband had been so poor that social services took the baby and placed it with another family. When she later wanted to have children, doctors told her she could never conceive again. Her husband left her because of this. This woman clearly struggled financially, but John could feel her genuine love for children. In that moment, perhaps he'd found his answer. Frequent vomiting reminded John that his time was running out. He wanted to spend more time with his son, but his body was reaching its limit. He sold his only valuable possession, his car, and took his son to an amusement park. They rode every ride they'd always been too poor to enjoy. Then they went shopping and bought all of Mike's favorite foods. At bedtime, John asked his son to put on the new pajamas he'd bought, but his usually obedient boy threw a tantrum, as if he understood these were his father's final gifts. It seemed like he believed that as long as he didn't wear them, his father wouldn't leave. He even threw away all the toys his father had bought. His father wasn't angry when he saw this. Instead, he smiled. He knew his son was growing up, learning to express his emotions when things didn't go his way. For his son, this was a kind of growth.